All right, everyone, welcome back here to game number two between Hex here on the Legion side and Big Ego Crew here on the Hellborn side. Once again, to reiterate, this is going to be a replay cast. This series did take place yesterday, March 11th. So we are currently in game number two now. We once again here, or excuse me, we have Shorcan now drafting for Big Ego Crew. And we have a different ringer here for game number two. Once again, Mex is not here. We have Soul taking the place of Blur, or Sync Gamer 7, I believe his name was last match. And we have the same lineup here for the side of Hex. So the bans are already taken out here. We have Torturer, Defiler, and Moira going to be banned here by Hex. So again, going for those supports and solo laning core heroes as their bans. We have Flint Beastwood, Artillery, and the Madman. So we see those carries and solo laners between the Flint Beastwood and the Madman as possible mid lane options, going to be taken out here by Big Ego Crew. We have the first pick of the game going to be Riftwalker. So it has been quite a while since we've seen some Riftwalker. Um, to be quite honest with you, I am not sure whether this will be a core Riftwalker or a support style of Riftwalker. I think we could see Riftwalker played in more of a position 4 type of role, where he plays on an aggressive lane with another core. But we'll have to see where he does end up going. We have a Monarch and a Midas going to be picked up here by our Hellborn side here, Big Ego Crew. So they go with that main support option in Monarch, as well as what could be a support Midas, as we have seen that played by Mex from time to time, but he is not here. So I am expecting this to be more of a core Midas, doing a lot of split pushing with the vision that Monarch provides. So I'm expecting what we see so far from Big Ego Crew to be more of a split push style of game plan. We have both the Moraxis and the Devourer going to be picked up here by Hex. So again, going for a little bit of a different strategy here. They pick up a Devourer, a hero that we don't see all that often, but as a spectator and a caster, I cannot say I am too sad to be watching some Devourer play. They pick up the Moraxis, who is very good in lane against a hero like Monarch, able to absorb that crippling pollen and mobilize stun with his arcane shield. So they pick up that strong initiator to set up that Riftwalker wormhole. And that will be the first 5 picks of the game. We are already underway here with the second wave of bans. We have Calamity, Draconis, and Bombardier. So they get rid of the Draconis here, which they picked up themselves in game number 1. The Calamity, which is a hero that both Chris and Znuki play very, very well. It is a very comfort hero for Hex. Very solid hero for them over there. It did receive some nerfs in the last patch, but still arguably very powerful hero in those 1 versus 1 lanes. And they also get rid of the Bombardier, another hero very, very strong in that mid lane going up 1 versus 1. So we see Hex banning out those carries targeting Dutch Ownage here. They ban out the Sandwraith and the Moon Queen. Expecting to be more of a hard carry style of game with that Monarch picked up. And then they get rid of the Rally, which is a hero that both Volca and Shorcan love to play. I did talk about in game number 1 with Huge Soul. Puppet Soul being the drafter, they did go for a bit of an unusual or different style of Big Ego Crew draft. But here with Shorcan back in the driver's seat, we are very likely to see heroes like Chipper, Rally, Moira, those style of heroes. And we thus see Moira as one of the bans and Rally as another ban. So we are going to see here Shadowblade picked up here by Big Ego Crew as the carry option. Shadowblade very, very strong right now. Could be considered one of the strongest carries in the game as he has that mini stun on that soul site. Very, very powerful. A 1.2 second stun. We've even been seeing players max out the soul site. Previously, this was considered one of Shadowblade's worst abilities, and now players are maxing that out. So just goes to show you the power level of the Shadowblade right now with that ranged form. In the early game laning phase, very, very powerful. And on top of that, Shadowblade scales very well into the late game. So we're going to see a Cthulhu font as the next pick, and we could most likely see a Cthulhu font Midas lane here, as Midas could be the secondary support here for Big Ego Crew being played by Shortcan, as they have the Cthulhu font picked up. I'm expecting that to be the third core now, and they will save the last pick for their mid laner, Huge Soul. We have the last two picks for Hex coming up here. They still need a carry, possibly a mid laner, depending on where this Riftwalker is going to go, and another support. So we will see what they do pick up here, if this will be a core Riftwalker or if it will be more of a secondary support option. But they do need a carry that can stand up to the Shadowblade now, as he does scale very, very well. So we'll see what carry they do pick up there for Mr. Fa. And it looks like it will be the Gemini. So Gemini, one of his signature carry heroes, a hero that he is very comfortable on, and they pick up the Rhapsody on top of that. So we will have a main support Rhapsody now with that Gemini on the last two picks. And this Devo is either going to be more of a support, or he will be a core, depending on where they decide to put the Riftwalker. Right now, it's looking like we're going to see a second support Devourer and a mid lane farming Riftwalker. That is what I'm going to be expecting here from the side of Hex. We have one more pick coming up for Big Eco Crew, and I'm expecting that to be their mid laner going up against the Riftwalker. So I think they will probably pick a ranged hero here to go up against Riftwalker. You typically don't want to play melee versus a Riftwalker in the laning phase. A hero that can wave clear comes to mind. So a ranged hero with wave clear, possibly. We'll see what they go for. They do go for a Pyromancer. I like that pick. I feel like a hero that can stand far away and just nuke from far is kind of how you need to play against a Riftwalker, because he is going to be very, very annoying with that Rift Burn to a melee hero. Very, very disruptive. Pyromancer, kind of a similar style of hero to the Riftwalker. Lots of nukes from far away, and that big single target burst with the Blazing Strike. So these are going to be the lineups here. We are getting underway here in game number 2. And so it's an interesting lineup for both sides here. I feel like um, our Hellborn side has the late game advantage. They have a Shadowblade with a Cthulhu font, with the possibility of that Staff of the Master fearing everybody. I think Shadowblade scales slightly harder than the Gemini. I think they are both fairly good late game carries, as they do have very strong stat gaining effects. Gemini with the Elemental Force, very strong in the late game with his Armor Pen. And Shadowblade, of course, with his Essence Shift gaining extra stats. You could argue he is one of, or if not the strongest hero in the late game. Gemini, I don't feel like he's quite as good, but he is very good in the late game as well. And then I feel like Hexa's lineup is very, very good in the mid game. Once they get 1 to 2 core items on the Gemini, they get some farm across the board. They have lots of strong team fighting heroes, but on the side of Big Ego Crew, they have better late game and better. They have really good split push between the Midas and the Pyromancer. So I feel like the late game advantage does go to the side of Big Ego Crew here. The mid game advantage going to the side of Hex. It looks like the laning phase, how are they going to lane this? They have Gemini currently in the bottom lane, most likely with Rhapsody to babysit him, going up against that Cthulhu font and Midas man up lane. Then we have Pyromancer in the mid lane, going up against Snooki here on the Riftwalker, so we'll have Huge Soul against Snooki. And then we have Moraxis going up 1 versus 2, it looks like, against the Monarch and the Shadowblade. So Moraxis should have a pretty tough time in that lane, as Shadowblade can assist with some ranged form harass. Then we have Devour here, skilling the hook. It looks like he's going to be doing some lane pulling here with the hook from the hard camp, possibly pulling the creep waves. That could deny a lot of experience from the Pyromancer if he's able to do that correctly and eventually transition into more of a roamer. So we'll have to wait and see when he does start to do that. Maybe he waits to do this when the next creep wave spawns and stack the camp. So we already have Monarch coming into the mid lane here. to try to harass out the Riftwalker. Pyromancer going to skill the stun here. He's going to try to get in front of him, do some body blocks. Great body blocks coming in from Huge Soul there, even getting the assistance from the tower. Sneaky going to go down there for the Bloodlust. The rotation in from the Monarch, very, very disruptive here for that Riftwalker. So Devour here. I actually want to see how he did that. I'm going to rewind this quickly. So he actually stacks the camp here. He's going to pull it, and then he is going to throw out the hook here as it gets to the tower. Alright, very, very nifty trick there by the Devourer. He's going to farm, looks like a double stacked camp here. So this should get him close to level 3, like level 2.5. If he's able to get the last hits, it will be even better as he will get that experience as well. Oh, we actually had a kill here in the bottom lane onto the Rhapsody with the Cthulhuphon and the Midas. I missed that one, but apparently they had too much damage between the two of them, as I'm just loving watching this Devourer jungle. He might even be able to kill out this entire hard camp. Monarch coming in from the flank here. He is going to land the Crippling Pollen, but Pyromancer is a bit too far away, so I'm not able to follow that up. Monarch already with the boots as he, or the marchers, as he did get the credit for the Bloodlust kill. Moraxis versus the Shadowblade, 1 versus 1. 8-1 Moraxis currently against 12-2 Shadowblade. So Devo is going to get the boots here. He has the Veiled Rot. We have a lot of pressure coming in on the Riftwalker here. He's going to get hooked by the Devo, but he is going to fall. So again, Riftwalker taking too much pressure there from the Monarch and the Pyromancer. He's off to a pretty bad start here, only 200 gold per minute against the 345 of Pyromancer. Bottom lane, we have action here onto the Rhapsody. The heals are coming in from the Disco Inferno. It is currently level 2, and Gemini is looking to turn that around with the Twin Fang Stun. Here comes the Golden Apple, though, from Midas. Big plays coming in from both sides. The Trample will take out the Rhapsody, and Gemini with the Fire Breath there, the Twin Breath as it's called, is going to get the kill there onto the Midas. So both cores getting a kill onto each support. Both supports living for quite a long time here. Cthulhuphon, he does have mana for a Trample. And Devour, he was making his way over for a gank, but not going to land the hook. Rhapsody is coming in now. He does not go for the staccato stun, actually. Moraxis, it looks like he was forced to go back to base. Shadowblade winning this matchup pretty handedly. Here comes the Crippling Pollen here onto the Devourer. Cthulhuphon, he is trying to block the hook. The Rift Burn will get Monarch very, very low. He will survive. Does have his Chrysalis level 1. We're going to see the Devourer end up falling here. Riftwalker, he could be in some trouble now as well. The stun is not going to, or he's not going to get stunned up. Gemini will get the kill onto the Monarch there. Pyromancer is coming over now. It looks like Big Ego Crew wants to chase here. They're trying to give mana over to the Cthulhuphon, but it is not a mana for a trample. Gemini is going to land a Twin Fang stun there with the help of Rhapsody. Looks like miscommunication there from the side of Big Ego Crew. And Midas is going to fall. Now Pyromancer also falls as Devourer comes in and lands the hook. So they overextend, they give up a few kills there. Oh boy, that's embarrassing, huh? Shadowblade getting a kill there onto the Moraxis. And on the bottom, we have a trample coming in onto the Rhapsody. Here comes the Golden Salvo into the Lion's Pride. Rhapsody, is he going to be able to survive this? The heal from the Disco Inferno is actually going to keep him alive with the power supply. He's going to be just fine. And Gemini is going for a kill here, but he doesn't have any mana. Okay, and it looks like Midas will be just fine. Pretty interesting start here to game number 2. We have a 4 to 6-0 kill lead in favor of Big Ego Crew. Riftburn is going to deal a lot of damage. Here comes the Dragonfire Sun. It's going to get pulled back into the Riftburn with the Cascade event. A huge pull from the Cascade event from Zanuki there. And he gets the kill onto Huge Soul. Haystern will spawn in the top lane. We'll see if he's able to bottle that up. So 2 straight deaths here on the Pyromancer, and all of a sudden Riftwalker, he had the bad start here to game number 2 with the early 2 deaths, but now he has really recovered this, and he is currently level 7. Monarch will steal away that Haste Rune, making sure that Riftwalker cannot get it bottled up. Here comes a hook from Devour onto the Midas, Staccato stun from the Rhapsody, and he will get the kill there. Twin Fang Stun is going to be landed by the Gemini on the Cthulhu. He does have the trample. He will use it defensively. And Rhapsody, he is trying to get in range, but he does not have his Staccato Stun for 5 more seconds. So the game's starting to slow down a little bit, but they did even up the kill share at 6 apiece. We have currently a 1200 experience lead in favor of Hex, but oh, they're gonna go for a kill here on the Shadow Blade. Here comes the Quake Stun. Crippling Pollen is going to land here on the Meraxis as he pops the Matrix. Shadow Blade, he's going to get hooked back by the Devourer. Chrysalis on top, but there is another, there's the explosion from the Matrix, excuse me, as they get 2 kills. Cthulhu also falling in the bottom lane to the Gemini. Now Midas is in some trouble. He is going to go down as well. It's a double tap for Gemini as he uses the Twin Breath. And oh my god, just like that, 4 kills going the way of Hex. And they will take a 10 to 6-0 kill lead. We have a failed rod here on the Riftwalker. He does not have Wormhole for 30 seconds. And it looks like they maybe have an idea that Pyromancer is farming in the jungle here. But are they going to find him here as Devourer? He's also Veiled Rotted. They're not going to find him. He just narrowly escapes that death. Monarch, though, not going to be the same story. She's going to run into that double Veiled Rot. Chrysalis will be used here. Only the level 1, not going to prevent too much damage. And they do end up using 2 Veiled Rots for a Monarch kill there. So, if so, in fact, though, they do end up losing a bit of gold there. So they only get 163 for the kill. We have Moraxis on 300 GPM against the 365 of Shadowblade. Shadowblade, he could be in some trouble once again. He is all by himself here. Here comes the Devourer from Devourer. The Wormhole on top, not even going to be necessary. They do secure that kill. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, they get the kill onto Gemini with Pyromancer making that rotation in. It looks like with the assistance of the Trample from Cthulhu, they line up the Blazing Strike, and Gemini unable to survive that burst damage. Midas trying to get in range here for a combo, but Riftwalker going to be a little bit too slippery there. So again, if we take a look at the GPM, very, very similar for both sides, but a slight lead here for the side, for our Legion side. The GPM is just a little bit higher here on the 3 cores, doing a little bit better in that laning phase, as they are up 12 to 7 in hero kills. Devourer, he's going to go for the TP on out. He's not going to get stunned up. Meraxis, he's not going to get the Arcane Shield off. He eats a Transmute from the Midas, and here comes the Quake Stun onto Midas. He does not have a Matrax here. He pops the Arcane Shield, but that is not going to save him. So he was unable to line up that Arcane Shield on the Crippling Pollen, and thus he ends up going down. Midas going to be stacking up the jungle here. Gemini picking up the full steamboats on top of the bottle, the chalice, and the power supply. With that iron shield, lots of build-up items there. Cthulhuphant as well going for lots of build-up items. We'll see if he goes for something like a berry rattle or if he goes for something like a portal key as his first item. Devour is going to miss the hook there. So they're trying to set up the kill there on the jungling Pyromancer. Picks up the sacrificial stoke. Monarch, oh boy. He's going to get hooked here by the Devourer as he goes for the counter ward. And he will end up falling. Pyromancer hits level 10 here. He will now match the Riftwalker. Riftwalker sitting on 2,000 gold. We currently have a Crippling Pollen coming out here onto the Rhapsody here as he gets a Ward of Sight down. And he's going to instantly get his ward dewarded. Not too sure what we're going to see item-wise coming out from Riftwalker here. Typically we see items like Spell Shards, Jade Spire. He's going to line up a Wormhole here onto the Pyromancer. Meanwhile, in the background, Moraxis, he's going to get locked down by the Midas and the Shadowblade. Pyromancer is going to go down. Gemini is not here. Here comes the Devourer onto the Shadowblade. Do they have the damage to lock him down? Cascade Event and the Doggos doing their jumps. They will get the tower kill here, but it will come at a cost of both their mid and their carry in exchange for the Moraxis. So they rotate a lot of heroes up here on the side of Hex, and they get a couple of kills, but they do lose their tower. Looks like Riftwalker did buy something. It's going to spot out the Midas there. Here comes a possible chance here. The TPs are happening from both the Pyromancer and the Monarch. On the bottom lane, we have a tower deny coming in from Moraxis. Rhapsody is coming in. Cthulhuphant, he might be getting locked down here from the Staccato Stuns. He's going to go for the TP on out over the cliff. Oh my god, Volca is going to survive on very low life. Heads up play to TP down the cliff there, as the Moraxis could not chase him. Huge plays coming in from Volca. He picks up the Shaman Cedra, so he will be going for that Berry Rattle. In the tower here, they're trying to go for the tower. Who's going to get it? It is going to be denied by Dutch Ownage on the Shadowblade. The hook is going to land there on the Gemini. That is not the target they were looking for, but now Shadowblade, is he in some trouble? He's going to get locked on here by the Devourer. The Gemini has split into the dog form. He's going to get the leap to safety, but the Wormhole is going to connect, and he will go down. Looks like the Protective Melody was used, but it will be cancelled there immediately by the Transmute. And now Volca on the Cthulhuphant is going to be stuck in that Ripper, and he will go down. And they will also get the Midas with the Gemini. It is a double tap for Gemini and a 3-0 team fight. So they get the tower denied, but they lose 3 players here. A huge fight coming in for Hex once again here. They are winning these early game skirmishes. And this is what I talked about. Their lineup very, very strong in the early to mid game, but I do think I favor the late game over to the side of Big Ego Crew the longer that the game does go. But we did have Jade Spire picked up on the Riftwalker, so he will value that extra cast range on his spells. Cannot disagree too much with that item decision. So we have Midas going for the tower deny. He is going to get the tower deny. Will he be able to make the escape, though, is the question. He does use the elemental warp to safety. He will land the transmute there on the Riftwalker, but no follow-up damage. Huge deny coming in from Shorcan as they pick up the spell shards level 1 there on their Pyromancer, and they pick up the Lightbrand on the Shadow Blade. So it looks like Shadow Blade will be going for that Dawnbringer and possibly that Whispering Helm option. Meanwhile, we have a fight going on here. Crystal is going to be used here on the Monarch. We do have Rhapsody with the Invisibility Rune. She is going to run in with the Disco Inferno, but has she overstepped her boundaries? Kogor is going to deal some damage to her as well, and she will go down to the Pyromancer. Midas warping in. He does not have a transmute currently. Trample will land here, but the hook onto Moraxis from the Devourer. Will he be able to make the escape, though, is the question. He's going to use the Quake Stun here onto the Cthulhu. He has a trample coming up in 1 more second. He could look to push the Minotaur, and it's going to be avoided there by Ozav on the Moraxis, but the Obliterate is going to be too much damage for Moraxis to handle Devour. He has a hook coming up in 3 seconds with that Chalice, but is he going to go for it is the question. He might have overstepped here, honestly. He's trying to line up a Twin Fang stun here by the Gemini. He will sacrifice himself, and Gemini, he is going to go in for the kill here onto the Midas, but Midas, he's going to die to the neutrals, in fact. The fear from Cthulhu kicking in. The Gemini dogs are going to chase. Here comes the wormhole from Snooki. It's going to be avoided by Volca, and he is going to trample down the cliff. Will he make the escape, though, to safety? Crystal's coming in from Monarch and the Cleansing Wind, but it is not going to be enough to save him, and Cthulhu will fall. Big plays from both sides coming in, but it will be, I believe, in favor here of our Legion side. Actually, they lose 1, 2, 3. They lose 3 for 2, and one of them got denied to neutrals. I think that was in favor of Big Ego Crew, in fact, as all this time Shadowblade was farming. He is going to line up the hook here with the Veil Drop, but it is going to backfire as Pyromancer was here baiting Shadowblade all along. Are they going to have the kill, the damage for the kill onto Moraxis? Yes, they will. So 2 kills going the way of Big Ego Crew. Pyromancer being in the right place at the right time. It was a nice hook, but a better bait coming out from Big Ego Crew. We have Gemini picking up the Firebrand to follow up that Sacrificial Stone. He is currently the top farmer in the game at 460 gold per minute. We have our Hellborn side doing Ancients together as a team. Currently 600 gold on the Cthulhu font. I am not sure how close he is to his Rattle, if he has the remaining piece in his stash and he is just needing the recipe. Another hook going to land here on the Pyromancer. Pyromancer going to turn it around, though, with the Blazing Strike. He's currently living with the Bottle Sips. Is he going to survive this? He is going to turn it around with the double damage. Wormhole is going to be cancelled here by Riftwalker, and she will fall. Moraxis is going to try to get the counter kill, but a great job by Dutch to block the Axis here. He is not going to be able to block that one as he gets stunned up by the Quake Stun, so Pyromancer will end up falling, but is he going to have the damage to bring down this Moraxis here? As he does get slowed up by the Axis, he will not, so they will end up sacrificing a couple of players here. They lose the Devourer, the Rhapsody, and the Riftwalker in exchange for the Pyromancer. A great fight coming in from Big Ego Crew. Gemini now with the full completed Frostburn here at the 19-minute mark. We have Pyromancer sitting on 17, almost 1800 gold. Looks like he will be building into a portal key to follow up his spell shards level 1. Gemini going to use the Veiled Rod here. Looks like they want to set up a kill. Midas currently on 1900 gold. Looks like he's going for a portal key. I love that Shortcan is doing this. I feel like too often we see Midas players not going for the early portal key. They value items to sustain their mana, and then they really fall off. But with the portal key picked up soon, he will be able to follow up the Pyromancer and the Cthulhu initiations. Gemini going to land the Twin Fake Stun there. He splits up into the dog form. Is this going to be enough damage? Here comes the Quake Stun from the Moraxis, and Shadowblade is going to be locked down. Too much damage coming in between the Gemini and the Moraxis, and Dutch will fall there for the 5th time here on the Shadow Blade, so he drops down to 412 gold per minute. Here comes a wormhole, and following up the Cascade event, Devourer will land the hook here on the Cthulhu. He breaks the trample though with the eat, and will this be a kill here on the Cthulhu font? It looks like it will be, but Devo, is he going to go down to the Midas? Yes, he will, and he will warp away to safety. But here comes the Quakestone from Moraxis as he just picked up that brand new portal key, and they will get the second kill there onto the Midas. Or excuse me, the one kill in exchange for the Devourer. Here comes the Monarch here with the Chrysalis. She is going to run into danger, and she will fall. Smackdown. So we have Pyromancer now with his portal key picked up. He's currently split pushing in the top lane. He has 500 gold saved up. Looks like he will pick up his level 2 spell shards there, almost with enough gold for his level 3. And they will get the tower kill there in the top lane. He picks up the level 3 spell shards now with that tower kill. So he is off to 465 gold per minute. He is the top farmer in the game. Huge Soul doing a very good job with the 744 stat line. We have Cthulhu Font still sitting on 900 gold. Looks like he has not completed another item recently. We have Veiled Rots here across the board from both Cthulhu Font and the Midas, with Pyromancer making his way downtown. He's going to run into the Rhapsody. Devourer going to go in with the Eat, but it does get cancelled. He's going to land the hook here onto the Pyromancer. Here comes the Crippling Pollen to stop it. Wormhole is going to land onto 3 heroes. The Blazing Strike is going to be used on the Devourer. Here comes Gemini now with the dogs, and the 2-man stun with the Dragonfire is going to land here, but there's the Protective Melody keeping those dogs alive, and he will recombine into main form now. Big Ego Crew is going to full retreat mode here. They do have Moraxis with the Blink, with the Quakes, with the Matrox ready to go. Now Dutch Onish is leading the front lines on the Shadow Blade. Here comes the stuns from the Moraxis and the Gemini. Gemini now in the fray. Is he going to be able to withstand the damage here from the Shadow Blade? Storm Spirit is going to be used here from the Riftwalker, which was just picked up. Gemini is going to fall, and now Moraxis, he is trying to save his Rhapsody, but Rhapsody is going to fall to the damage here from the Shadow Blade, and Shadow Blade, he's looking to turn this one around. Is he going to get the kill? Yes, he will, but the Cascade event is going to take out Dutch there on the Shadow Blade, and now Riftwalker, can he win this man up 1 versus 2? He is on the run currently. He has a Rift Burn coming up in 3 more seconds. He might look to turn this one around. Cthulhu Font, he is looking to line up a trample. Do they have the vision here? Here comes the slow into the Cascade event, and now Riftwalker is here, or excuse me, Midas is here. The hook is going to land onto the Cthulhu Font from the Devourer. Devourer will get the kill. Here comes another wormhole, but it is going to miss, and Midas, he's trying to leap into position to line up a transmute. Here comes another slow into a Rift Burn, and Midas, is he going to get hooked? Yes, he will, and Midas will fall the hook from downtown. Devourer getting the double tap. Huge plays coming in from both sides, but it looks like Hex getting the better of this fight, following up that hat trick on to the Shadow Blade. So again, we see almost an identical GPM spread across both teams, but we see Big Ego Crew in the lead here by 3,000 gold and 4,000 experience. Shadowblade getting very close to his full completed Dawnbringer. He has the Searing Light on top of the Mighty Blade. We have a double damage in here in the bottle of Pyromancer. So we see a portal key picked up on the Riftwalker as well. He goes for the combination of Storm Sphere with the portal key. Both sides kind of doing a bait here as they both have vision here with these wards of sight, almost identical wards of sight being placed. And it looks like Big Ego Crew perhaps wanting to group up and take their Kongor. They have a double damage on their Pyromancer. They might be able to do this without the help of Shadowblade, as he is currently showing in the top lane. Pyromancer with that Fervor, very, very good at doing Kongor as the dot damage is stacking up. And they will get that first Kongor kill of the game. There's going to be the full Dawnbringer here for Shadowblade. So he currently has 27 strength. on his Essence Shift, as he now has the level 3. I believe he should reuse that Essence Shift now, use the Gargantuan's Blast, and use the Essence Shift if he wants to be in Strength form, as he just picked up some more Strength. We see our Legion side doing their own Kongor. Dutch still has not used his level 3 Essence Shift. A little bit surprised by that. Not sure how comfortable he is on the Shadow Blade. We see the Kongor falling here for our Legion side. They have triple Ancients ready for the Gemini. We'll split up into dog form, and he will start to work on those Ancients. Dutch has still not used his level 3 ultimate. We do finally have the Barrier Rattle picked up on the Cthulhu Font. He has 1900 gold saved up as well. Oh my god, Kevin gets the kill there. Onto the Rhapsody. Will it come at a cost though? Here comes the 2-man transmute. Quakestun on top, and Pyromancer will fall. So he does end up overextending there for that kill. Dutch still has not used his level 3 Essence Shift. Oh. Now he's, oh, look at that. He's all the way up to 53 strength. What a difference from 27 to 53. It's almost like he doubled his strength attribute. The Veiled Rod here on the Moraxis. Going to line up that Quake Stun. Ripburn on top, Gemini stun. Monarch tanking like a boss, but he will come out of that Crystals and he will fall. So Gemini with the full Dawnbringer. He is more or less on par with the Shadowblade. Shadowblade has 2000 gold saved up. Gemini has 1400 gold saved up. Cthulhu now with his Portal Key and his Barrier Rattle. All he needs now is a Staff of the Master, and I feel like the late game will be more or less secured for Big Ego Crew if he's able to pick up that staff. We have Tablet and Portal Key picked up on the Midas. Still no follow-up to the Portal Key Spell Charge 3 on the Pyromancer, but he has 2300 gold saved up, so we'll most likely see something like a Shrunken Head. We see the initiations here. They're going to try to save the tower. Pyromancer is going to get jumped by the Quake Stun. Here comes the Cleansing Wind to remove that Quake Stun from Moraxis. And now Riftwalker, he's going to use a Storm Spirit on himself. He still has the Wormhole, but he's going to get locked out. He cannot get the Wormhole off, and he will fall. Moraxis is going to go for the TBN now. Is that going to be successful? No, it will not, as the Blazing Strike comes in at the last second to secure that kill. Now Rhapsody is in trouble. Cthulhu is going to line up a Quake Stun, or a Trample, but he will get hooked, and Rhapsody will fall. Now Devourer could be in some trouble, as there is another Trample coming up in 3 more seconds. Only the Gemini and the Devourer are alive. Devourer, he will use the Shrunken Head, which was just picked up, I believe. And he's getting slowed up by the Dawnbringer. Is this going to be enough for a kill? He tries to line up the hook there on the Pyromancer, but he does hook the creep. We do have a buyback coming in from the Riftwalker, who still has his Wormhole ready to go. Meanwhile, Gemini gets the push there on the tier 2 tower in the bot lane. Gemini will go for the TP on out in the trees, as we see Big Ego Crew taking command here of Hex's jungle. They're going to get the catch here on the Rhapsody. Gemini is now here. Was that the right decision though to jump in? And he is going to get completely melted. 1 by 1 here is going to be the case for Hex, as they lose both their support and their carry here. So all 5 players are alive for Big Ego Crew. They will look to pressure this tier 2 tower. Pyromancer will jump in with a stun, but it will be avoided there by the Portal Key from Riftwalker. Great reactions come in. And the Cascade event going to pull them together, but Devourer unable to land the hook there. And now we have the Shrunken Head picked up on the Shadow Blade, and Gemini still without his Shrunken Head. So a big advantage coming in here for the side of Big Ego Crew, as they have a key item picked up there on their carry. Here comes a Storm Spirit into a wormhole, going to be landed here. The Quakestone on top, and Midas, he will fall. He is not able to get his warp away as he gets stunned locked down. Wait, I got some rocks to show you. Marax is going to be working on his Hellflower. He has an Arcana picked up, working towards the next two pieces. Mid lane, we have Devo and Gemini going to take out the Cthulhu Font there. Not sure if that started off with a hook or a Twin Fang stun, but Cthulhu Font gets caught out, not able to get off his barrier rattle. Devour is in a pretty aggressive spot here. Here comes the Crippling Pollen. He will pop the Shrunken Head, and Shadow Blade, he is going to go for the escape here. A hook attempt onto the Monarch, going to miss, unfortunately, very close to landing that hook. So the question is now, what will Shadow Blade build into as his next item? He's currently still using the Strength form with 68 Strength. He picks up a Steam Staff, so we could see either a Shroud into a Ganjuro or a Wingbow as his next item pickup. We could also see a Hellflower or a Archon's Blade, but I think those are less likely. I think we will be seeing either the Ganjuro or the Wingbow here. Gemini now with his Shrunken Head, so he's still quite a bit behind the Shadow Blade, but not by too much, as we see 460 versus 478 GPM. Bottom lane, we have initiation here. The Shrunken Head is popped by the Pyromancer. The Quake, the Matrox is going to be popped. 2-man transmute into the Trample, and 2 kills going the way of our Legion side as they get the kills onto both Riftwalker and Moraxis. Huge pickoffs coming in from Big Ego Crew. Now the question is, will they look to push the base or take their Kongor? They have 50 seconds on 2 players, and we currently have buybacks on both players. Will they end up needing to use their buybacks is the question here, as we see all 5 from Big Ego Crew going down to the bottom lane. There's the second buyback from the Riftwalker. Mass TPs into the middle lane. Gemini will get his Twin Fangs up to the cliff there. And it looks like now that they got the buyback, they might look to take the Kongor. So Big Ego Crew now taking a big commanding spot here in game number 2. 13,000 experience lead, almost 8,000 gold lead. Kongor in their back pocket here, as we see Hex all the way in their jungle with Gemini up in the top lane. I don't really see them taking this fight without any vision, going high ground against the Monarch wards and the team fighting presence here of our Hellborn side. So I feel like this is more or less Big Ego Crew's game to lose now. I feel like they have the stronger late game. They have gotten themselves to a very comfortable spot here at the 35-minute mark. And now with Riftwalker out of buybacks, he is a very key hero for the Legion side. If he does end up dying, he will not be able to buy back into the game. We will see Hex do their own Kongor here, so both teams trading a Kongor. This will be the second Kongor for Big Ego Crew, but the first, or no, actually the second Kongor as well for Hex. So each team having one Kongor. We have the Shrunken Head picked up on the Pyromancer and 2,400 more gold. Looks like he did pick up a Whispering Helm before picking up his next item. I did mention something like a Whispering Helm, but he does now finally go for one. He is also in the Agi form. He's no longer in strength form. He jumps in on the Gemini here, trying to bait them out. Regen rune will spawn here. Lillifant will bottle that up. That is the real Pyromancer. Oh my god. That is so scary. Shrunken Head is going to be popped here. Oh my god. that that freaking bait from Kevin was almost surreal. Holy cow, if that worked, I would have had myself a giggle. We have the portal key picked up on the Devo. Pretty impactful items now. He has both a portal key and a shrunken. We have post haste picked up on the Riftwalker. We got the initiation here on the Cthulhuphon. Storm Spirit coming in. And Cthulhuphon is going to fall. Whose Storm Spirit was that, by the way? Oh, Cthulhuphon has his own Storm Spirit. Did not even notice he picked that up. So yes, actually not going for the Staff of the Master. Quite interesting, actually. Nor a Barbed Armor. He goes for more of the utility route. We have Midas, looks like building into a Sheepstick. I love his item progression here on the Midas. Very, very impactful items. Not going for these greedy items like the Spell Shards or the Jade Spire, stuff like that. Going for these very impactful team items, the Portal Key, the Tablet, and now the Sheepstick. And even on 300 GPM, going to have a big impact if he's able to pick that up. See Monarch picking up the Tablet. See, once again, 3,000 gold on the Pyromancer, so something like a Sheepstick or a Hellflower, even something like a Grimoire of Power could be on his list of items, but we'll see what he decides to go for. Expecting his next item to be a very big one. Currently has a double damage in his bottle. Looks like they are trying to bait this creep wave here. Riftwalker was trying to line up the wormhole and actually does end up casting it. Great portal key there from the Pyromancer, avoiding what was going to be a sure death. So, Snicky, being the patient man that he is, still sitting down here in the trees, trying to either farm the creep wave or set up a kill. The top lane we have Devo getting initiated on here by the Cthulhuphon with the new Shroud here of the Shadow Blade, so he does go for the Shroud. We'll most likely see the full Ganjuro. Very, very powerful option for him to sit in that Soul's Sight ranged form with the Ganjuro. Gemini, he is going for, looks like a heart. So he picks up a Axe of the Malphite. There's the Sheepstick on Midas. I just don't know how Hex is going to win this game. There is so many items now on the side of Big Ego Crew and so many impactful ones that you have a sheep on their secondary support. I don't feel like Gemini with his item build can match up to the Shadow Blade, who's going a very heavy damage route. We do have the Hellflower on Moraxis. He's currently Veiled Rotted, but as we can see, they are in the mid lane. Midas as well, Veiled Rotted with the Sheepstick. Hook attempt here going to be missed as he tries to get the hook onto the Cthulhuphon. Gemini has enough gold for his heart, but he is choosing to, it looks like, value his buyback, as he currently has enough gold for that buyback. Tower will fall here in favor of Big Ego Crew. That was, I believe, the last outer tower. So only one outer tower remains. Hook attempt going to be missed here once again. Shadowblade puts some pressure there on the tower. Hook attempt going to be missed again. If they do see them on the bot lane, this would be a good chance for Big Ego Crew to go for a jump here as the hook is down. Currently, Cascade event. Here comes Midas with the Sheepstick. He lands it onto Riftwalker. The Transmute is going to connect. Trample is going to miss the Rhapsody, but here comes the Fear. Watcherbeard comes in from Pyromancer. They get the kill onto Riftwalker, and he does not have a buyback. This is a big kill coming in. Here comes Gemini. He's going for the kill here onto the Monarch, but there's the Storm Spirit from the Cthulhu Font. Going to save the Monarch for now, and Gemini, he's going to get stirred up by the Transmute. Morax is taking some heavy pressure from the Shadowblade. Shadowblade will get the kill, and now Gemini pops a Shrunken Knight. He picks up a Symbol of Rage, not a heart, and he's going to look to turn it around here. Cthulhu Font, is he going to be able to survive here? He does avoid the Twin Fang stun, and they will get the kill there onto both the Monarch and to the Midas. And now Gemini, he is in some trouble. He is going to fall. He does not have gold for a buyback as he just picked up that new Symbol of Rage. And 3 players are still alive for Big Ego Crew. Only the Devourer does survive. And that pickoff onto Riftwalker, so impactful, as there was no buybacks onto Snooki there for that last team fight. Devourer, he's going to land the hook here, but there's the trample. It's going to be broken by the Devourer, but he will end up canceling that eat as Cthulhu gets too far away, and they will get the 1 Rex. And that might do it, ladies and gentlemen. Can Hex hold off the tower pushes coming here from the side of Big Ego Crew, as they only have both the Devourer and the Rhapsody currently alive? Shadowblade will take out the tower here. He will go into range for him to work on this next melee Rex. And there's the Barrier Idol from Cthulhu Font. He is going to take out the Rax here. No, it does survive. Here comes the jump from the Devourer. He's going to get his sunken head off on the Shadowblade. Watcherbeard comes out from Pyromancer as he gets the kill onto Rhapsody. Here comes the Wormhole, though, in the background, and Pyromancer is going to fall. He gets Storm Spirited from the Cthulhu Font, I believe, and he is going to make the escape here. Riftwalker, he does portal key backwards, and the Pyromancer and the Cthulhu Font are both on the run. Pyromancer will portal key to safety, as well as the Cthulhu Font. Pyro goes for the TP, and they will be successful. The Rax does fall. They do lose their Shadowblade, but 2 buybacks still remaining there on the Shadowblade, so they are feeling very comfortable. He is going to disjoint the Crippling Pollen, but it is still going to follow him. And here comes the Sheepstick as well from the Midas, and Snooki falls once again there on the Riftwalker. Not going to be his game here in game number 2. As the Crystal is going to be preventing some damage there on the Cthulhu Font. Here comes the hook from Devourer. It's going to miss. Gemini jumps in with the Twin Fang Stun. He's going to line it up and going to get the kill onto Midas. Meanwhile, in the background, 2 men trample stun from Cthulhu Font onto both the Devourer and the Moraxis. Quake stun locking down Cthulhu Font. Here comes the Barrier Idol into another Crippling Pollen, or Chrysalis, excuse me, as Gemini pops the Shrunken. He's going for the kill here onto Monarch without the tablet and the Chrysalis available. He might end up falling here. Hook going to land onto Pyromancer. Another Watcherbeard coming in from the Pyromancer, but here comes the stun from Gemini. He pops the symbol and he will survive. Gemini, or excuse me, Morax is going to live here on very low life as the portal keys are happening. The mind game's coming into play. Here comes the protected melody, but it's not going to be in time. Moraxis does end up falling. Cthulhu Font will use this failed drop, but it looks like he will get to safety as Rhapsody. I don't think he's going to be able to get the catch here on the Cthulhu Font without any team support behind him. So a very hectic team fight coming out here by both sides. Gemini going to split up into dog form and steal away some of the ancients. Bit of a firebrand. Whoa. Whoa now. Was he doing some stat building there? He's going to build into the Ganjuro. There's the Staff of the Master on Cthulhu Font. And we see the full Ganjuro there on the Shadowblade. He is currently on 75 agility. That is, how much agility does a wingbow give? 30 agility. That is 2.5 wingbows worth of agility here on the Essence ship. Meanwhile, as I ramble on, we have initiation here. Riftwalker is going to fall again. He does not have a buyback. He did not get his wormhole up. Monarch in the background trying to go down, or Gemini trying to get that kill, but he's getting locked down in the dog farm. Watcher Beard comes out. Gemini will fall. He does have a buyback as Devourer also falls. Devourer did not get his Shrunken Head off, and neither did the Gemini. So the lockdown coming in from our Hellborn side on point as Midas with that sheep stick. Uh, they looks like they did not use the Hellflower there. He uses it at the end, but he does end up falling to the Moraxis and the Monarch. A little bit surprised Gemini hasn't bought back here, but Moraxis, he's going to fall as well. I don't know, to be fair, if he could have gotten there in time. There is going to be the GG's called here by Hex, and Big Ego Crew at the 46-minute mark will take game number 2. They win back-to-back games here in this scrim session between Hex and themselves. So this will be the final game. There will be no more games to cast from this series, but credits to Big Ego Crew with some fantastic play here in this series, winning 2 games to nothing over Hex.